right, welcome everybody to Wall Street Reporter's next Super Stock, a live stream where we bring you those stocks which have a 10x to 100x upside potential. Companies going after massive multi-billion-dollar market opportunities that are at a key inflection point with multiple catalysts in place to create that 10x upside. And we're back with Worksport. Steve Rossi, the CEO. Steve, welcome back to the program.
Thanks for having me, Jack. Love being here.
Steve, here's the thing. I mean, we've had a number of 10 baggers on our program. Stocks that went up literally 10x to 100x, sometimes more. And what I've learned is, they all, the ones that actually make it, they follow. There's a certain trajectory. Success leaves clues, right? Success leaves clues. They all follow a certain pattern when they at that inflection point, right? And what we're seeing right now with Worksport is you're literally following 100% perfectly that 10-bagger blueprint. Like, we're seeing the news flow. I mean, I always tell investors, the proof is the news flow is the proof. That's the pulse of the business. It tells you what's happening. And what we're seeing is proof that Worksport is not just at the inflection point, as I like to, but inflecting, as you constantly correct me. So Worksport is actually, and today, again, every week, it becomes more and more obvious that this thing is just ready to explode. So let's kind of start with today's news, and then we'll kind of give the big story. So, Steve, you launched the new product. It's actually going into production. Tell us what this is. Why is this a big deal? Which I don't think the market understands that it's a big deal, but it is a big deal.
So there's a few very interesting points. There's a tactical point, and then there's a business related kind of point that I want to call out to why today's news is fairly important to us. It's a big deal. Number one, so the tactical element to the news is that we're inflecting, but we're also executing. We are making commitments that we will be releasing products, and we're releasing them. We've had some delays. These are mistakes that we've learned on, landmines that we've stepped on, figuratively speaking.
By the way,
we're getting better.
I always say this is the blue collar Tesla, because the truck was Tesla. If anybody remembers, on the way up with the big move, they had a lot of hiccups, right? That production, that wasn't a big thing. Production hiccups, and then they overcame, and now look where the stock is. Same thing here.
Businesses are like artificial intelligence, as an analogy, that it just takes time to get smarter, and then it's exponential in how businesses are able to become smarter. We're smarter today than we were yesterday, but we were smarter yesterday than we were the day before. Every day we are learning, we are improving, we're accelerating, and we're executing, we're inflecting. So to that extent, we have 3 big products to launch this year. And today was a big green check mark that one of them is in production. So execution, trust and faith in management to be able to execute, to get products designed, patented, tooled, packaged, priced, sold, all of these things. There's a lot of execution that goes into the broader element of saying the word execution. So we're executing. And then from there, the product itself, we launched the HD3 tonneau cover. We're in production of the HD3 tonneau cover. It'll be on our website shortly. It's not on the website yet. The reason being why it's not on our website yet is the product was made for business to business. The product was made for fleets, dealers, and distributors. The product is a superior heavy-duty rendition or amalgamation of our best products. So we've taken our best products that are available on worksport.com, and we've made them heavy duty, a pro version, and we've launched that product to the dealer, distributor, and fleet markets, which is massive within the United States, and of course then in Canada and Latin America, which are markets that we're entering. So the product itself has a massive home. And what we're saying by building this product, what we're saying by launching this product, is that we are supporting our Main Street America business-to-business customers. This is for them. This is for those store owners, those fleets, those contractors, the people that swing hammers and work hard. This product is for them. And eventually it'll be available on our website, but it's going to start out as it is now as a wholesale or dealer or reseller product made for the heavy commercial user, and predicated on the fact that we started with 0 dealers at the beginning of this year, and now we have hundreds growing into thousands. There's an audience. There's a massive audience of customers that want a heavy duty pro version product that we've launched here today. So that product is made for Main Street America, and we were able to get it off the ground, showing and proving to investors, supporters, customers that we mean business, and we know what we're doing.
By the way, yeah, so this is very interesting. I want to kind of expand on this, but I've been saying that you're like, again, you're like the mini Elon Musk, because it's again, it's really very, very similar in terms of Worksport. You have these incredible innovations, which you start off with trucker covers, and then you go into power products, you go into this HVAC. I mean, like tremendous innovation, which we're going to get into later, but. And the main thing is the revenues are exploding. So it's not just talk about whatever. The main thing is what's going to move the stock. The reason why we're talking today, the reason why we're doing this live stream is I believe this, that Worksport could be, our next 10 bagger. You could be, in the next issue, the next edition of the 10 bagger blueprint as a case study, because the revenues are going from 20 million to 100 million run rate. That's the magic spot. This is the spot where all the money is made right now. I think in the next 6 months, you've said that your goal is to get to that $100 million run rate the next 6 to 9 months. And if that happens, the market will pay 5x, because right now, I guess the market, people are doubters. They don't believe, whatever. They're not sure. But they see every month you come out with, you show that, the sales are growing. The margins are increasing also. That's very important. The profit margins are increasing. Mm-hmm. So it's constant. It's like this AI model, almost like, it's artificial. It's like you're constantly learning, iterating, improving, and there's this, and all of a sudden it compounds and compounds, and all of a sudden that's when the big thing happens. But I think it's very important. So what's interesting, and tell me if this is maybe the thinking behind this. So you're doing this, let's call it professional grade product, right? Now, this is not going to be available to the consumers right now, right? So maybe it builds up hunger and demand and interest. So right now you're going after this professional market, which is, by the way, huge market, fleet market. It's massive, right? In the US, there's like, by the way, I'm looking at trucks every time I pass. We did a video on TikTok. I was in a parking lot at the beach in outside of LA. And I was pointing the camera. Here's how many trucks are here. This is like in Ventura, right on the beach. And how many? It was probably 30% were trucks. And we're showing here's the truck. So you have this massive market. Plus, you got all these companies that use, the fleets. That's those are the big orders. That's where you can sell. I mean, I don't know, 500, 1,000 pieces at a time. No, these are not small orders. So now you can go boom. The revenues can go bananas.
Yep. Yeah, we built a product for a market that exists. We've listened to our customers, and we know that this is going to be perfect. There's a huge audience, and the pro market's massive. There's government agencies. There's countless government agencies, countless fleets, construction businesses, public and private, or construction on public and private side. And then again, dealers, distributors on a national level. The market for the HD3 product is there. And I'm glad that we were able to check that box today by getting the product launched. And, we have some of the most amazing innovations right in front of us, literally right in front of us to launch later on this year. And we couldn't be more excited as a team. And to speak to a point earlier, it usually raising revenues, like Netflix's business model, they had to start getting a lot of sales. And Netflix was able to get the sales, the deep penetration, by selling their product at a loss. Sell the razor to sell the blade, as the saying goes, or the proverb goes. It's one thing to raise revenues, and usually margins become sideways or go down. A low margin, you'll raise sales. It's a challenge to raise sales with equivalent margins. Like Worksport had 17%, 20%. Okay, you're just going to sell more of something and you won't make more. To be able to sell more and also double your margin of profit from 17% to 31%, almost double the margin of profit, is a feat that I fail to see where other businesses are able to do that in such an inflationary market that we exist in today. The market's fraught full of inflation, domestic, and we're domestically produced. Our aluminum is dug from U.S. soil. Our paint, the resins for the paint, comes from U.S. soil. Everything from our product, 93% of our core raw finished goods, the forestry for our packaging comes from upstate New York. The trees are cut down in New York. It's all domestic, but there's
Buffalo, right? The factory's in Buffalo.
Yeah, we're just outside of Buffalo in Western New York is our factory, and we source domestic, like within the U.S., but a lot comes from New York State as well. We have a geographic preference, of course, something closer. But anyway, to raise sales while raising profit, that's a needle in a haystack. As a metaphor, it's very difficult to accomplish. So for us, we're very proud, and it shows that, hey, if we could do this once, we certainly can do it twice. And I think that we've found the ingredients. We've created the ingredients to a very, very compelling recipe to success that'll be replicated time and time and time again as we release automotive products, new energy products, as well as our HVAC-R products that are coming through our subsidiary Terravis Energy.
Yeah, I think, look, one of the things which is very important is, in the small cap space, micro cap, the stock is 25 million market cap on NASDAQ. One of the challenges, first of all, for a lot of companies is, especially, you're in the production business. You're actually manufacturing stuff. Again, this is the challenge that Tesla had, which they overcame. It's a tech company. Everybody's excited, but manufacturing cars or these things in the U.S. or anywhere is difficult, right? This is the famous thing, the production thing that Musk went through. You basically have the same thing on it's a little bit easier. Obviously, truck covers are not the full car, but it's a very similar thing to go from zero to actually manufacturing, to build out the plant, the whole production, the execution, and one of the things that I've always found is a lot of companies have a hard time with is the margins, right? Okay, they get the sales, but the margins aren't there. It's there's always that issue, and I think what's very important is it's kind of like this thing, Worksport echoes Tesla more and more, because when you think about it, Worksport, you started out on the OTC market. You went from basically from a startup on the OTC market, from the pink sheets, or now on NASDAQ. The revenues, nobody believed it then. You started with zero. Now you're at 20 million, heading to 100 million. Yeah. Same thing with Tesla. I remember, and by the way, I made a big mistake. I should have bought the stock. I thought, it's a battery car, it's electric. I remember seeing that car. I remember seeing the first Roadster at like a car, the Roadster. Yep. It was kind of it was a crappy car. That first Roadster, I saw it and it was like, wow, who would buy this? Who is? So there you go. So it takes a while. Again, the iterations, and then all of a sudden that exponential point happens. So it's incredible. That's very important. I think it's also to emphasize, you're in a great spot right now. When we say the inflection point, okay, the operationally, everything, you're firing on all cylinders. This is the key thing. The execution, new products, sales channels are launching, and now you just closed on a $10 million financing round. So you have basically you have enough cash in place to execute on everything you need to do.
We have the production, we have the supply chain, we have the patents, we have the product, we have the people, we have the capital, we have everything we need to continue to execute vigorously and to protect our product vigorously in the marketplace. And the products that we're coming out with next, which is our solar integration, the Solus, and our battery generator, open us up to a massive market, because it broadens our horizon with these products from those that drive pickup trucks to the coveted global consumer market. So the Solus and Core is really unlocking massive market reach, because the Solus is, yes, it's meant for pickup truck owners, but the Core, the battery generator, it's for anybody, anywhere in the world. And we plan on selling it to everybody, everywhere in the world.
Yeah. So the power generator is so the next big thing. I think that's what the market is waiting for. I don't know why again, we've talked about how big the opportunity is, but I think people are waiting for the launch of that. That's like probably a lot of retail investors. Meanwhile, you have a lot of other stuff happening, which people, I don't know why. Honestly, it's frustrating to me to see this, like, because I'm seeing this, and I've seen this. Yeah, I've seen this movie before. I've seen this play out where a company is on this path, and nobody believes it, but they keep moving forward. They keep growing, and all of a sudden these things incrementally they become exponential, and then the stock explodes, and then it's up 20x, 50x. And everybody is saying, "Oh, well, why didn't you tell us about it?" Or we were telling you about it before. So it's
everyone wishes they bought Home Depot when it was $4 a share.
Right.
I understand.
And everybody's saying, okay. By the way, interesting comment. Somebody's saying about Trump. I don't know what is Bitcoin Trump. By the way, what's interesting is there's a new SPAC coming out from Chamath Palpatine. It was one of these tech guys, basically investing in this new thesis of American innovation, American manufacturing renaissance, the whole thing. And so there's a lot of interest in the space. You got the Trumps. What is it? The Donald Jr. I think he's the one that's really doing the business, right? That's the guy that's doing all. Mm-hmm. I mean, I'm shocked. Like he hasn't come on as a director of the company because he's getting involved in all these American. This is like a perfect thing because he's a very outdoors type of guy. He's hunting, fishing, all that stuff. He probably has a pickup truck, right? In Florida, where, this would be like a right up his alley because this is they want to promote American manufacturing, innovation, jobs, and this is there's nothing more American than a pickup truck. It really is. Right. I mean,
it's the new age
cowboy
horse to the cowboy. Yeah, it's the new age horse to the cowboy. It's your trusted steed. That takes you where you need to go, and they're very well endowed vehicles. They have all the latest and greatest technology from the manufacturers now. So in general, yeah, we're in the right place. We're executing. We're growing. We exited last quarter at $5 million, which is already a $20 million run rate. So we're already a $20 million a year company if we see no other additional growth. If we double those sales, we're a $40 million company. We have the products, we have the cash, like I said. So it's like all the boxes are really getting checked, and it's not happening serendipitously. It's happening because we're working our rear ends off with some of the best and brightest in the market, in our markets, to be able to accomplish this and achieve this. So it's a point that we're celebrating, but we know that the hardest work is in front of us. We have 2 huge launches, the Solus and the Core, and those are right around the corner. We've committed to get them done in fall. I don't know exactly. We don't have a date. We'd love to. We're working on that, but it's there's parts that are coming from all over the world and manufacturing partners that are involved that are massive, and there's a lot of moving parts there. But once those products are launched, all we're going to do is look to become multiplicative on selling the product. We're gonna sell. I have my internally to the company. I haven't shared this externally. There's Steve Rossi's 3 I's to success, and the 3 I's to our company's success are innovate, iterate, and integrate. So we want to innovate by hybridizing solar panels on pickup truck covers. Then we want to integrate those into pickup trucks, food vendors, RVs. We want to get that technology into other things, not just pickup trucks. And then we want to iterate, to come up with different versions. Like you're seeing what we're doing today. We have the AL3, we have the AL4, our 2 mainstay tonneau covers, and now we have the HD3, a pro version. So we're innovating, iterating, and integrating, and we're going to do that through all of our product lines. Now, if you can imagine with me for a minute what that could mean for our energy products. We haven't spoken about this, so I can only hint, but imagine what that could look like, integrating, iterating, and innovating our energy products beyond that for the average consumer to just carry portable energy. Our core is just a portable battery generator. It's going to be huge, but imagine what that looks like when we start thinking about integrating the energy into different apparatuses, different opportunities. what that could mean for businesses, what that could mean for homes, what that could mean for first responders and military. So, we're very excited about the opportunities we have ahead of us. As over the next 4 weeks to 8 weeks in the company, we're going to be making meeting some big milestones.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the chart looks like it's ready to take off. Again, you guys, it's very interesting that you have like an operating philosophy of growing the business. I mean, it seems like it's a very well thought out approach. It seems, I mean, this is not like one of these. A lot of investors, they use the kind of micro cap stocks. Again, especially in the space you started out with, probably a lot of the legacy shareholders who bought the stock when it was still in over the counter. They're kind of used to companies with a story and whatever, but they've never executed. The CEOs have never executed. That's the big problem they have, right? You have delivered everything you've said. Now, some things take a little bit longer. That's always It always happens that way. Even back to Elon Musk. This guy is probably one of the smartest guys in the world, right? He had a hard.
It took a while. Like the first iPhone by Apple, which was then a company that had billions of dollars in cash. We've done this. We've raised significantly. We've raised tens of millions of dollars. Yes, but the first iPhone took like 5 or almost 6 years to develop. And that's coming from a company that had billions of dollars. Worksport, with a fraction of that, we're able to launch the core very soon. And it shares the exact same DNA. Like I said on the last live, our core battery system shares a touchscreen. It shares user interfaces. It shares EMI. It shares UL certification. It shares battery technology. It shares everything that's required to make a cell phone, except for LTE or connectivity to the satellites for cell. Everything that's required to make a cell phone is required to make our battery generator. So it's not simple. It's not easy. Down to the design, to the tooling, to the manufacturing process, to the pricing of it, and all that, everything in between. So we're pretty proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And although yes, we have raised tens of millions of dollars. There's been companies that, Tesla has been successful, but they've raised billions of dollars, tens or hundreds of billions of dollars. Apple the same, and we've been able to do this. I get all of the bankers we deal with. They have us on their mailing lists. And this morning, I received 4 emails from a bank in our market, and it was an email that said, this bank just announced the closing of this offering, right. And every single one of the offerings were like biotech companies, and there were 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. That's those offerings for those businesses are already probably close to 10 times more than we've ever raised as a company in general. So we're very proud with what we've accomplished. And don't get me wrong,
you forgot to add one thing. So most of all these companies in the microcap space, I know many companies. They've raised hundred. I can name
hundreds of millions
of dollars, and they haven't gotten anywhere. They haven't. Maybe they had a little bit of revenue, or they got some, but then they stalled. Basically, what we're seeing with Worksport is in real time, we're seeing revenues are climbing, they're scaling. Okay, the revenues are scaling, the margins are growing, which is proof that you have actual operating expertise in the company, right? Which is a big deal because 99% of these companies don't have it, right? In the small cap space, they don't. And again, like you said, things check off the box. And again, Worksport, I'm very selective with the companies that we bring on this platform. And there's like literally 10 criteria, which is in the book, and right here. And Worksport checks off all the criteria. And anybody can get the book, whatever it is. We're not here to promote the book or anything, but you guys, if you check out the 10-bagger blueprint, you could read all the chapters, and you can see, okay, this company checks off all the boxes. So I think it's only a question of time before the stock explodes. My target on this, again, this is my opinion. This is not investment advice, not buy stuff. I think this could be a $50 stock. And the path for that is very simple. So I'll kind of lay it out. You're going from $20 million annualized revenues right now. That's where you're at right now.
Mhm.
$5 million a quarter and growing.
Mhm.
And if you hit the 100 million, which is the goal, and I believe you're going to get there, because I've seen a lot of CEOs, and you're a guy that delivers, right? So whether you hit that 100 million in 6 months, in 9 months, I don't know when it's going to be. It could be 10 months from now, whatever it is. But I'm convinced, I'm certain that you're going to get there, especially with the product, the products that you have right now, especially with the fleet commercial, everything else. Again, one of the big competitors just in the truck covers, just in the humble to no bed truck cover market, I think is doing what, $1 billion or something. There's like one company that's doing $1 billion plus just in the little truck bed covers. No,
yeah. So our major competitor is a 10-figure business for sure. They're $1 billion plus in revenues, and a lot of that is attributable to tonneau covers. Although they do have other companies in their portfolio that are accessories to trucks, like floor mats and stuff like that. The tonneau cover business.
The WeatherTech guy. I mean, basically, look, WeatherTech. What are they doing? Are they doing 500, $1 billion? How much are they doing in sales?
WeatherTech is, I believe they're north of $1 billion in sales. Because I recently was presented their valuation as a company privately, which I can't share, but the valuation is a multiple of $1 billion. It's billions of dollars.
They're for sale right now. WeatherTech is for sale, right?
I can't confirm or deny, but I do know, what if they were for sale, what the price tag would be, and it's billions of dollars, which has to be predicated on.
Oh, okay. So this is interesting. So basically, because there's been a rumor that the company's been, again, the guy who started is basically a guy like you. He started with making rubber mats for cars in America, making rubber mats.
They're very successful. Yeah,
as basic as possible, rubber mats. And started with nothing, and all of a sudden, the guy's had a multi-billion-dollar business. I think he bought like the most expensive house in Palm Beach, like $100 million. The guy's like making a ton of money.
Yeah, I heard it was the most expensive island or something.
He's and God bless, he deserves it. The guy's built a great company. People love his product, and very similar. It's a very similar roadmap. I think Worksport is following that roadmap, very similar roadmap. I think the guy's ready to cash in. What is he, in his 60s? He's ready to probably retire, no? Like, he's ready to cash in, monetize. So the company's probably being shopped around. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe why not? Why can't Worksport, maybe there could be a merger. Maybe you could buy them. You could, listen, it's only money. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. All you got to do is just get the capital, and you can, buy. I mean, you already have a lot of the ingredients. And now it's going to be a public company. Now it's their opportunity to actually be public. You get like the private equity guys. Hey, look, I mean, you probably had this. Maybe you're having this conversation where you're telling these guys, "Hey, we know how to make stuff. We have the market. We just need a little bit. And here we go. Worksport."
We're always going to explore opportunities,
They're both W. WeatherTech, Worksport.
Worksport. Yeah.
I see. It's a marriage made in heaven.
We're gonna keep doing what we're doing, and you never know what the future holds for the business, but we're going to continue to execute. The next 4 to 8 weeks of the business are going to be significant milestones for the business, and they're going to be a jumping off point for us to multiply the revenue side of the balance sheet, and start really making some big money here. And that's the objective. We're capitalist, we're enterprised. We love business, and we want to grow the hell out of it. We have a team of hungry individuals that work within Worksport, my leadership team, and we're all hungry, and we're going to continue to grow. And you got to build. One of the things I've always been saying, one of my famous phrases is brick by brick. Brick by brick, one step at a time, one brick at a time. You build your foundation, and you can build an empire. And that's exactly what we're going to do, and that's exactly what we've been doing. I wish we all had crystal balls, and I also wish that at times we didn't have to step on rakes or landmines, or have delays or challenges. But we're all human. We make mistakes. We learn from the mistakes. We improve. We do better, and we move forward. And that's what we're capable of doing. We have tenacity, and we're hungry. So when you mix someone or a group of individuals with tenacity and hunger to grow and to build legacy, that's where the biggest businesses, the most amazing empires in America were built with that.
No, it's amazing. Yeah, it's kind of the, you said the brick by brick, the iteration. all of a sudden, all these things add up. It's kind of like, Warren Buffett, right? There was a famous book about him. It was called The Snowball, right? Because he basically started, Warren Buffett basically started off with penny stocks, investing in busted down companies. But then he iterated and iterated, and it compounded, and the compounding is magical with capital. But it works the same way in business. You compound by these small iterations, and your what do you call it? Your 3 I's, your 3 I formula:
iteration, integration, and innovation. Yeah, innovation means like even Warren Buffett. There is innovation in his financial engineering.
Oh, yeah. He started.
And he integrated it, and it's my 3 I's to success, and I share that with my leadership team. Whether it makes sense or not, it makes sense to me, and I feel that our success as a business, and this could probably be applied to a lot of businesses, is innovation first, then finding a way to integrate and iterate your innovation in different things. Take your recipe that's a winning recipe, with building tonneau covers, and make battery generators, then make solar integrations, then make HVAC products, or make different financial products. Look at MicroStrategies. The financial engineering and iteration of their ability to raise and deploy capital in a secure way is genius, and it's innovation. It's integration of that innovation into different financial products, and it's genius, and it's very successful for that business. So I feel like it's the same for Worksport. So it's my 3 I's. To find the growth, and I think that we're going to continue to get there. We are getting there now.
And one thing I want to add also, one of our biggest winning stocks that has ever launched on Wall Street Reporter. I'm not taking credit for it, because we just there was a client. There were a client very early on, was a company it's now called Axon, Taser, and we talked about it before. But why do I think Axon and Worksport are very similar in terms of they both start off with a product, and people were like, okay, what? So they had a taser, right? That was the taser that cops have, and now they have body cams. That's the new thing. They have all this stuff, right? Multi-billion-dollar thing, but they were $1 stock. They were just like you. They were taken public by a small underwriter. It was Paulson and Company, like in Portland, Oregon. Took them public. It was a joke, right? People thought it was a joke. I remember the stock was $1.25. Everybody, and they had the same things that you have: product delays, all this stuff, whatever, stumble. Yeah. It happened, and then they got over it. They iterated. They did the 3 I's, maybe at a different thing. Now it's a multi-billion-dollar company. The stock is trading 800 and change, and probably did it. So it's probably people. If anybody that put $1,000 into that stock today, would be every $1,000 became over $1 million. Wow. Over a period of years, right? So this is not for day traders. This is not. I mean, and by the way, that stock did go up 10x. It went from $1 to 10. Everybody thought they were genius. They sold whatever. They went up to 800. 10 years later, whatever it is. But this is one of these things, and I've said this on video. Again, my opinion, but I believe that Worksport has all the ingredients to be basically a generational wealth creating stock for investors. So, Steve, now it's all on your shoulders now to execute and make it happen. But you have it. Everything is there basically. All you got to do is just keep going, and it'll happen, because the flywheel is going already.
We had, during our Reg A offering, which is closed now, so there's no active dilution to Worksport at this point. But during our Reg A offering, one of our larger investors, I met with him in New York. Actually, probably the same day I bumped in. I met with you, and he said, I'm investing in the business for all these reasons, and it was flattering. But he also said, you're young, you're healthy, and you're hungry. You
got to buy the management. It's the leadership, the number one thing. Again, the 10 bag of boom. It's the lead. It's the CEO quality. You're the guy, right? But yeah, you're hungry.
Young, hungry, and healthy, and I found that was interesting. But he wasn't joking. He says, a lot of times there's big businesses that are run by someone that's ready to retire, or maybe old or not healthy, or they're like, we're investing in you. I'm in my 30s. I'm healthy as anything, and I'm dialed in, and I'm hungry. And we have a team now. Worksport is over 100 people working for Worksport. It's a business that's no longer, it was, when it was in 2014, it was just me by myself. So now there's over 100 individuals. I think we're closer to 120 people working for Worksport. And we're all hungry, and we're all eyes on the prize. So it's a matter of just growing. We just need time. There's mistakes and challenges, mistakes yet to be made, and there's going to be challenges that we can't foresee. I wish we all had crystal balls, but we're going to continue to do what we're doing today. The news today basically should have said Worksports executed. We said we were going to do something. We did it. We said we're going to do something else now, the core and the Solus. We're going to do that. We're going to sell the hell out of those products. And from those products, we're going to build an empire. Yeah. I have no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, no, Steve, I mean, back to like what this investor that you met with, the most important thing we look for at the end of the day is, again, in the 10-bagger blueprint is CEO quality. We have a whole chapter on it. I say, look, if you want 100x stock, you got to find that 100x CEO. And what do we need, right? I say the three things. You got to have a guy, number one, execution, right? I mean, that's like, you know, it's shocking how few people can actually execute. Great ideas, because in this space, the space we're in, the microcap, basically we're in the public venture capital business, right? Growth, emerging growth companies. How few companies that have great ideas, but how many can execute? Very, very few. So you got to, but execution that's the table stakes. Just to get in the door to be 100x, you got to execute, because that's the only way to have that sustainability to ramp up. And then you got to have a CEO who's got, you know, big balls. I think you have that, right? And you've been through it all. You've been through you've been through the whole thing, right? From to go from OTC, from, you know, that market to NASDAQ. How many companies make it? 1 in 1,000, 1 in 2,000, maybe. Literally, very few companies are able to make that journey. And then I would say the ability to have these pull rabbits out of hats, these upside surprises. You have right now with the Worksport, which we don't even know about, and there's so many potential new products and so many things that could, you know, move the needle on the stock. We haven't even talked about today the Aetherlux, the heat pump, which sounds people don't even understand how big that could be. And there's so many other things under the hood that people are not aware of with the stock, which I'm not aware of, but I know that obviously they're in the works. That's what's going to make this thing happen. So I think it's anybody watching this is one of these stocks that people have to have on their watch list. If they, again, we don't do buy sell recommendations, but all I can say is if you have the stock on your watch list, you're going to see that news flow at some point. You're going to realize, okay, this is, if you don't own it now, you're going to realize, okay, this is, you know, the train has left the station. You know, the bullet train has left the station. Okay. It's like the rocket has left the launch pad. Yeah, amazing. Steve, bottom line. Okay. I'm going to let you go. I know you're a busy guy here. You said the next, I think you dropped a hint. You said the next 4 to 8 weeks are going to be exciting. Is that what you said?
Yeah, November and December are going to be big. I mean, we're going to be launching our 2 biggest products. We're going to launch our 2 biggest products within the rest of this year, and fall of this year is our commitment. We're going to do it. You know, barring, we don't have a crystal ball, barring, you know, a global war or something crazy. You know, we're going to launch these products. We already know how to sell because we show that on the balance sheet every quarter. So now it's just a matter of applying the recipes that we've perfected or are perfecting to the products that we're launching. And then next year is going to be a massive growth year. You know, we have other products that we're planning, again, in the iteration part of our 3 I's to success. Next year, we're going to iterate these products and integrate them into different markets, so that we reach deeper into the market potentials. But it's all going to start with the foundation that we're going to be building, and that's going to start in the next few weeks when we launch these products. So the Solus and the Core are very exciting. The Aetherlux project by TerraVis Energy, our subsidiary, that everyone that owns Worksport owns TerraVis.
Potential spin out. That's a potential spin out. I mean, that thing by itself could be worth much more than Worksport right now.
Could be, yeah. And the quality of interest. The quality of interest in the ongoing meetings that team are actively in, even as I speak right now, the meetings and the conversations they're having with, you know, huge opportunities on the other side of the table is massive. So we're in a very enviable position as we end this year, and we're just going to keep on building. And like I said, the team's hungry, and we know we're starting to get a grip on what we're doing here, so we're very excited.
One last thing I just want to emphasize: you said something very important, is that your distribution channel, right? The dealer network that you have, you went from 0 to 600 and change in the last 10 months, right? From 0, you had 0 in January, you're in the 600 plus, and by the way, 17,000 is the total market, addressable market. What's important is, what did you say, that these guys are reordering like multiple times? Like that's the big deal. It's the reorder rate.
So as a business owner, if it were to be, Jack's, mattress business, it's easy enough to try one. A manufacturer comes and, okay, I'll try one, and I didn't like it. I sold one to a customer, he didn't like it. We're not going to carry it. But when you could land a customer and have that customer start wearing your shirts and doing YouTube videos and Facebook videos, and like your display stand goes in the middle of their store, and they become a massive brand ambassador because they're trusted and woven into the fabric, the community fabric in their area. That's powerful. And when these dealers, these Main Street American dealers, put their faith in Worksport, it's so reinvigorating to us that it's 100. We go to the dealers, we sell them a product we put 100% into. Then they see that and they put 100% into selling the product. And then we put 100% back into making sure that they have everything they need to continue to this beautiful cyclical nature of 100. Everyone is putting in 100%.
The flywheel, yeah. And what you mentioned is that these guys, they're enthusiastic. It's kind of like, they're evangelists. That was the whole thing with Apple. Apple Computer, what made it great. People forget, but back in the 80s or whatever, early days, 90s, it was like people were like, oh, wow, this thing is an unbelievable product. And they told their friends, and they were really like, they were true believers. It was a cult. Apple was like, it just grew and grew. And what you've described with your dealers, on maybe a little bit more humble level, but it's the same thing, right? It's the same thing. Obviously they love the product, they're enthusiastic, and the that reorder rate, the frequency of those reorders is the thing. It's kind of like, and I'm going to end on this one, which I think I heard an interesting. I saw an interview with this guy in the restaurant business. It was fascinating. It was this guy. Have you ever heard Carbone, the famous restaurant? It's in New York. It's like a hot restaurant now. This guy,
yeah. There's one in Florida, I think, as well.
Wherever. The guy started with one little thing, and all of a sudden he's got probably doing a couple $100 million. But I saw an interview he did, which was very interesting. He said, because he was on some comedian is interviewing him. He says, well, what's the difference between you and a Michelin restaurant, whatever? He says, look, it's very simple. These guys with the Michelin restaurant, people, they have to be whatever it is. They do one thing which you've never had before, but you're going to go there one time, and you're probably not going to come back. It was very, wow, blew your mind, but okay, whatever. What we do is we make a great thing, the best version of what your grandmother made, whatever it is, and you're going to come back over and over again, and that's how you make the money on that repeat customer, because you make that great bet. You make that thing better than anybody else. So you make that the spaghetti, the truck bed cover better than anybody else, and people come back, and that's what makes it great. It's not like the flash in the pan. It's that great, that great thing.
And we have thousands of 5-star reviews. I mean, Google Worksport, go on our website, go online, you'll see amazing reviews. We're not going to be able to make everyone happy, but 99% of our customers are very satisfied with the product, and it's because it's 100. We put in 100%, and then our dealers put in 100%, and it just makes a fantastic culture.
Yeah, fantastic. No, Steve, this is great. We'll catch up with you again. I think next time we have to have the factory tour. Sure. Whatever. Please, keep put me on the call list when you're there. You have some time. We want to take the audience, give them a tour. Take your camera around, the thing, and
we have a steady cam. Yeah, I'll take you the next time. I'll take everyone through the factory. Later in November, I'll be at our research and design facility and development facility in near Ozark, Missouri. So we can take you through there, where some very exciting things are being done. We have a nice facility there full of the brightest minds in our space. So in November, we'll take you through, well, maybe even as early as next week, take you through the factory, meet some of the people in the business on the factory side. It's busy and it's noisy. And then later on in November, we'll take you through R&D in Springfield, where some of the cool stuff happens.
That'd be fantastic. Okay, Steve, thank you again. We'll catch up with you, next time you're at the factory there. Thank you again.
Excellent. Thank you
very much for joining. We'll see you in the next one.